Howdy folks, I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Alright folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not wanting my boyfriend to have naked photos of his ex-girlfriends on his phone? No! He is certainly already looking very bad here. This one does involve an eating disorder and some manipulation and some kind of abusive vibes in a relationship. So just to let you know. Okay, so this story is a little long, so I'll condense it as much as I can. So I am a 20-year-old female and my 50-year-old male boyfriend and I were watching one of those divorce court shows on television and having a pretty great time trying to figure out whether they would pass the lie detector test or not. Well, in one of the episodes, the wife who was accusing the husband of cheating had found naked photos of a woman on her husband's phone and was using it as proof for his cheating. I made a comment of something along the lines of, why does he even have those photos in the first place if he isn't cheating? Boyfriend responds, all men have naked pictures of girls on their phones. Do you? Boyfriend, yes I do. I keep them for memories. It's a conquest thing.
Gross.
Long story short, after pressing him, I found out that he has kept old videos and naked photos of his ex-girlfriends. When I told him that it made me uncomfortable, that he kept them and looked back at them, he made it seem like I was the one being insecure and questioned why I believed I wasn't good enough for him. I let it be, but then the next day it really bothered me, so I asked him to get rid of them, and he got super upset. He claimed that I was trying to control him, and that he cannot control what happened in the past, so why am I so upset? I told him that he's right in saying that I can't control him nor change the past, but he can show some respect to me by not looking back at these other women that he slept with, and he just kept going back on his point about how he cannot change the past. Now it does have something to do with the insecurities in that he's been making subtle and not so subtle comments on my weight, even though he knows that I had an eating disorder in high school, and it's something that I'm still dealing with to this day. I'm 5'5" and 129 pounds. And I know for a fact that these women that he used to date were drop dead gorgeous and had bodies that were super skinny but had nice shape. He told me that I am one of the bigger girls that he's dated. I know that I'm not ugly. In fact, I get compliments almost every day on my looks. But just knowing that he's looking at these women who are so much skinnier and prettier than me is really getting me down, on top of the fact that he even kept them. But his words are starting to get to me, and I'm starting to wonder whether I'm just being an insecure girlfriend. So am I the jerk for being upset that he has those photos on his phone? Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, but leave this relationship
Yeah.
after you delete your photos and videos from his phone.
Yeah, make sure, OP, that you get rid of those photos, that any photos that you've sent to him, and make sure that they're deleted off the cloud, because he's already told you what he's going to do with those photos in the future, right?
Right, and it's clear he sees you as a conquest, and you're just one more of many.
Yeah.
He collects pretty girls.
Yeah, he collects pretty girls, he conquests them, and he manipulates them into being the girls that he wants. And that's part of the reason why he's talking about your weight like this, is because he wants to control you. And he's able to control you also because there is I think the age gap here, usually I really wouldn't say much about age gaps, but in this particular case, I think a 30-year age gap is something to at least take a pause about, if not more. And I think that he is doing this because he's trying to manipulate and control you. He's looking for women that he can manipulate. So I really think that, OP, you really should reconsider this relationship. I think because, again, he's showing you his true colors, and not all men carry nudes on their phone like this. The idea of this is really terrible in the respect that there's kind of an unspoken rule of etiquette that after a relationship is done, those photos, any intimate things that you had with another person, probably need to be deleted, with very, very few exceptions. One exception maybe being like art. If you drew art and had, paintings and stuff like that, that's artistic. You're not really looking at that with any kind of intent here. It's just that at that point in time, I think that's acceptable. And, potentially someone who has passed away in a relationship and you have these kinds of mementos, it's still not something I think you should be looking at in another relationship.
Right. It's a matter of consent
Yeah.
and respect, and he's showing he has no respect for
Yeah.
either you or the women he's seen in the past.
Yeah, and I think consent is a huge part of this, right? Because consent can be revoked on these photos, right? If someone doesn't want you to have photos of them in the nude anymore, then they're allowed to revoke that consent and say, yeah, we were together, but I don't want you having these photos anymore. There's a lot to unpack here, and OP, I definitely think that you should run.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly doesn't care about you. Anyone who would bully someone who has an eating disorder over their weight, like you are a perfect. First of all, weight doesn't say much about a person, but there's nothing wrong with your weight.
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to force you into a very narrow beauty ideal that is not healthy for you, and he's not going to stop.
Yeah.
Because all that matters is you pleasing him. He doesn't care about you in 6 months or a year. When he's tired of you and you're not serving his purposes anymore, then he's just going to ditch you for the next.
He's going to find someone who's new.
He's always looking for someone younger he can manipulate and
we got
conquest.
Yeah, we got a real Leonardo DiCaprio here. So that's my thoughts. Anyhow, take care and good luck. And Ricky4 says, that age gap is scary. And C Rise 1907, it's a conquest thing. That language right there is just absolutely abysmal. And Extra Inevitable 1379 says, agree. Also, my husband has no naked photos of me or any other woman that he's been with. Pretty sure he also doesn't see me or other women that he's been with as a conquest. No one has naked photos of me, but you should be incredibly careful with letting him have any naked pictures of you. He is clearly using them for manipulation and power, and you'll end up hurt in that situation. And also, like, in the future, maybe he can hang these over your head, too, for extortion or something to that effect. And if he's sharing these photos with people that he knows and comparing notes or something like that, then that could even add an extra layer of despicability to this whole thing and probably even be a fall under revenge and be illegal. So, and Soft Program says, not the jerk, this is not normal. Most men don't keep a stash of naked photos of their exes, and good men don't refer to previous relationships as conquests. His exes most likely did not consent to him keeping those photos either. Run, girl, and don't let him take any photos of you. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here. And Amber has a joke.
Did you hear about the wrestler who had to quit his job?
Yes, it was actually really sad. So what ended up happening is he made some really poor investments in Bitcoin, and he lost it all. And so because of that, he actually, is now taking on the second job, and he's working really hard, but he's in a lot of debt here, and I mean, it's just not a good situation. But there's plenty of work, at least, because like it's the busy Christmas season, and he's things are actually starting to look up for him a little bit, because like even though like he started working in this job and he and this other person kind of clicked and things just started actually like working out, and he's been alone for a long time. Wrestling is just kind of like a solitary job. It's more solitary than you would expect, and he felt like a connection, and he for the first time in a long time he felt something alive inside of him, and he started talking and found out that she's also like mutually interested. And so this whole thing, even though like he lost all this money, made some poor decisions, things are starting to turn around, and he's got a date for next Tuesday. It's a really, really lovely story.
That's not what I was expecting.
Oh.
I thought you were going to be like Bernard the Unhinged chopped up his arm or something.
And then Bernard and the Unhinged came along and made his day very bad.
We won't do that. We'll have see. Brian actually wrote a nice story, so we'll stick with that today. But the answer is he couldn't get a grip on himself.
And I've got Earl Grey. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week, and boy, has it been a week. I hope you're all having a great week, and I hope that your weekend is also fabulous, and I will see you all here tomorrow.
Bye.